Hello? what? What is this?
Yeah, Sean, you're on. Seeing as how somebody didn't tell me that they took the Sci Fi Visions intro off the board, I had to freaking figure out something really fast. Sorry,
It's,
y'all.
it's not on the board anymore.
Yeah, it's not. That's what I was looking for. That's why it took a minute for us, ladies and gentlemen. We're sorry. Can't nothing go wrong live, all that good shit. But welcome to Sci Fi Visions, I guess. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Yeah, this is going to be a fun show. I ain't got many. I guess we ain't got any of our guest hosts on tonight, but I guess it's just us tonight, Sean.
I guess so. I'm trying to get in touch with Duck real quick. Let's see. We're on. See what happens.
Oh,
Okay.
here we go. Here's Duck.
There we
Here's Duck.
I love it.
Duck just had to get in costume real quick, or get in uniform. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here rocking the freaking Pensacola Beach or Panama City Beach T-shirt. Y'all
We
sitting
all
here
have
trying
our
to be dressed
nerdisms
up.
in a way. We're just nerds in different ways.
Hey, there we go. There we go. Actually, a couple of the topics tonight, I'm actually going to have some opinions on them. Actually, I haven't seen it yet, so you guys can get my actual reaction to it. But I'm gonna be very interested in the Clarice, the Silence of the Lambs TV series we're going to talk about tonight, because I didn't even know they were making this. So, and I mean, Hannibal Lecter is one of my fucking favorites. My mom was weird. She let me watch these horror movies whenever I was a kid growing up. So, like, I'm fucking like 6 watching Freddy and shit. So, I'm pretty damn excited. And then, of course, there's a couple other ones that I'm pretty amped to talk about. I guess I've kind of taken over, Sean. You're the host of this show. Go ahead.
No, man, it's all good. One of the biggest things that we were going to talk about today, besides, hey, Aaron, how are you? I see you there. One of the things that we're going to talk about besides The Mandalorian. Take over, Sean. You're the host of this show. Go ahead.
How the hell did we get on a delay again?
Oh, sorry, that was me.
You're a jackass.
We were going to talk about Disney Plus and all of the shows that they're actually going to bring out in the next 2 years.
Absolutely.
50 plus shows that they actually introduced yesterday.
Well, and you know, it's actually interesting to me. I did not know this till we were just talking pre-show here, Sean. But we're actually going to be, Disney Plus releases them on a weekly basis. You can't binge watch Disney Plus shows, which I find quite odd in today's system. That's what it's all about when you have these streaming platforms, is the ability to binge watch these shows.
Well, you can binge watch the first season of The Mandalorian, you just can't the new seasons.
Right,
but I grew up. I mean, you're a millennial, so like this is how I grew up. Everything was on a week-to-week basis before binging and everything. You know, I mean, I still listen to Spotify with commercials because commercials don't bother me.
Fuck commercials.
See, that just does. That's something I guess that will never bother me. I have patience.
Apple Music, baby. Apple Music.
How much do you pay for that?
$9.99.
Okay, so $9.99 a month.
Unlimited music, bro. That's like the price of one CD.
Dude,
CDs are obsolete though.
I have unlimited music plus commercial.
Fuck commercials. Plus, you don't get to listen to the song you want to listen to at that exact moment. It's got to go through like your fucking, and then you're getting like all of a sudden some random ass fucking artist that you've never heard of thrown in there. Like
every now and then that might happen, but I mean for the most part, it actually works out pretty well for me.
I'm kind of one of them weird people where if I'm feeling a fucking certain type of music or a certain artist, I want to hear them right then. And that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear fucking... If I'm wanting to listen to Billy Joel, I don't want to hear fucking AC/DC. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. I know, kind of random. Okay, I guess we've stalled long enough. Let's go ahead and get into our topics. And We actually start here with a little bit of sad news.
Right.
So I put that he was obviously in the Friday movies. He was in.
You both.
He was in. He was in No Holds Barred, which is actually a pro wrestling movie from the '80s. But yeah,
Fifth Element. He played the president in The Fifth Element.
I did not know that. I'll be damned. I legitimately didn't know he did anything other than those two movies. But we actually have a news clip from CBS Los Angeles.
We have some breaking news right now. Actor Tommy Lister has died at the age of 62. The Friday actor was found dead in his home in Marina Del Rey today.
LA Sheriff's deputies were originally called out to the house for a welfare check after Lister's associates said they had not heard from him. Officials say no foul play is suspected.
We spoke with Lister's manager a short time ago, and she tells us that while the official cause of death is pending, she believes he died as a result of COVID-19. She says he contracted it about a month ago or months ago and was showing symptoms once again. Officially, the cause of death is unknown, with the LA County Sheriff's Department saying it was likely of natural causes.
So, I mean, like I was saying before we went there, and Aaron actually says Rip Zeus because that was his character name in No Holds Barred. He was in a movie with Hulk Hogan in the late 80s in No Holds Barred, and of course he was Debo in Friday. Like you said, I guess he was the president in a show called Fifth Element. A guy who, you know, he probably wasn't on anybody's A-list, but, you know, he carved himself out a nice little career there in Hollywood. I believe he was still making movies at the time of his death. He actually, as a matter of fact, I know he was working on a project because in doing my research for the show today, I read that he had to call out and he had to stop production the day of. He called his production company and was like, "Hey, I can't make it because I'm not feeling good." So, I mean, he carved himself out a damn good career.
No, he did. And I'm trying to look up some of his stuff real quick.
Apparently, he had apparently, according to Aaron, he had a small role in The Dark Knight as well.
Yes, he was. He was in The Dark Knight.
I did not know that. I'll be damned. Old Tiny Lister was around quite a bit.
Oh, come on. There we go. I should have done this earlier. God dang it. All right.
Shit happens.
Where you at? There. Well, that's because they list him as Tom and not Tommy. I'm used to seeing
right. Well, I didn't even know his first name. I always thought his first name literally was Tiny. I thought his mama was fucked up because I've heard him called Tiny Lister for the longest time.
Right. So he started. Come on. Where's there? There we go. Okay, let's go down here to the bottom. Shit. He has been acting for quite a while, since 1984. Started on Webster. Played a football player way back in the 80s. Yeah.
You did voiceovers too, didn't you?
Yep. He was on Perfect Strangers. Yeah. Let's see. Matlock. He did He was a prisoner 3 times in Matlock. WWF Superstar. He was Zeus.
Yes.
In the series.
He actually wrestled a few matches in the late 80s.
Renegade TV series. That one with the really creepy dude. Renzo Lamas. Malcolm and Eddie. Players Club.
He was in the Players Club?
Yeah.
It's been forever since I've seen that movie.
Next Friday.
Oh, God. And we just now found out we're going to get another Friday, and we're going to get a Friday without Debo. Damn.
Star Trek Enterprise. He was on that series.
Really?
Dracula 3000.
So he had his hands in the sci-fi world.
Oh, yeah. You're talking my stuff. He was the Klingon in the very first Enterprise. Yeah, he was the Klingon that blow up an entire silo.
Wow.
In fact, I mean,
he made an awesome Klingon.
I know him the most from The Fifth Element. He played the president in The Fifth Element and President Lindbergh. And that was one of my favorite roles that he did. I actually thought he was pretty cool. He also did voice work in Zootopia, played Finnick. Pretty cool. And he was in Universal Soldier. Oh, I forgot about that.
He was.
Yeah, he was in Universal Soldier. Oh,
goddamn! He's one of those actors that you find out you're like, holy shit! I forgot how much he's been in. Right? Like it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Just what all he's accomplished in his career. Like I said, he's on nobody's A-list, but I mean, he carved himself out a nice little career.
He's one of the criminals in the two boats the Joker was trying to blow up in The Dark Knight. Better than the two boats? Yes.
I'll be damned. Well, definitely, obviously obviously I don't want to discredit it, so I will say it was a major loss. But, in the grand scheme of things, he wasn't an A-lister, but he was a pretty big deal. Like I said, he carved himself out a nice little career there in Hollywood, and it's definitely, especially, I was reading about the COVID situation, and I guess his wife says he did die of COVID. He was initially told that he had COVID earlier in the year, and he actually beat it. And then I believe last week sometime he told his family that he was starting to exhibit symptoms again. So, I mean...
I met the guy in person.
Really?
And, yeah. He surprised me. He goes, "Do you accept God and Jesus Christ as your, personal?" He dove deep into it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I thought he'd be all gruff and, he just really wanted to tell me about, his Savior Jesus Christ, and
that's cool.
I give that to him as a credit, and he was really passionate when I told him I'm an atheist.
Right.
But he's like, he just took his time. This is all happening in front of the Home Depot. And I don't know why he was at Home Depot at the time, but
I need to move to California so I can kick it with celebrities like Doug.
I've never been proselytized by a movie star, but I actually stopped at an intersection in Newark, California one time, and MC Hammer was street preaching right there, and I was just like, "That is MC Hammer? No, that's not MC Hammer." Oh,
did he do the hammer dance?
No, he was preaching, man. He wasn't out there like too legit for Jesus. He wasn't doing that. I mean, he was street preaching with the Bible and telling people to go to hell. It was just like, oh, that's Hammer. That's kind of cool, but it's kind of scary too. So.
No, that's the thing about California. You do see, I met Tom Arnold. That guy is hyper. Well, back then. Because he was still married to Roseanne Barr, so this is way long time ago. And I was just a security guard, and he was just hey, and just like he was on, he was pumped. So I don't know how he is now. I mean, this is, oh my God, that was maybe 23 years ago.
Oh wow!
Funniest celebrity thing I ever saw. I was in a Barnes and Noble here in Little Rock, and Judge Reinhold was right in front of me.
Oh, from Ferris Bueller.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Yeah.
Oh shit.
He lives here in Little Rock. And
his name lives here too, doesn't he? Ted Danza, I think.
Yeah. Ted Danza, Mary Steinbergen. But yeah, he was right there in front of me, and I saw the back of his head, so I didn't really realize who it was at first. And all of a sudden, he kind of turned sideways, and I was like, "Oh fuck, it's Judge Reinhold, cool," They ordered his book that he wanted on time, and he pulled the whole asshole. He's like, "Do you know who I am?" And man, at that point, I was just like, I lost all respect for you right there, dickhead. You're a B-list actor living in Arkansas. Nobody gives a shit who you are. It was kind of cool for a second, but nah.
Wow, really? He did the "you know who I am" thing?
Really? Wait, hold on. Yeah. He Kurt Bushed your ass?
No, not me.
Bushed your ass?
No, it wasn't me. It was the sales clerk. The sales clerk didn't have the book that he ordered, so he's like, "You know who I am?" And of course, the sales clerk was like, "No." And I was at that point, I swear I wanted to be like, "Douche," but I should have.
Oh man, that's so cool though. That's fucking pretty cool.
I can we could
It's
be
not weird, but
in the show talking about celebrities we met. Color Me Bad. No, nobody remembers them, but I met them.
Oh yeah, I know Color Me Bad.
They were all midgets. They were small.
Really?
Yeah. They're every one of them. They all look like they needed high heels. They were small.
I ain't cool enough to rub elbows with celebrities.
I've never rubbed elbows with I've just seen them every now and then. I've run across their path, nobody's looking me up, to hang out. Brad Pitt ain't calling, hey, Sean, you want to hang out this week? Nah.
Give it time. Give it time. The comic is almost out, so give it time.
The coolest people I've met, you guys wouldn't know who they are because they're all wrestlers that I've worked with that were famous and on the big stage at one time.
We just talked about one that died, so maybe we might know the ones you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked a show with X-Pac. I've worked a show with Vader. I've worked a show with
Vader.
Jerry the King Lawler.
The King, of course, we know Lawler. One of his kids went into UFC.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nice about Jerry. I'm not gonna ruin Jerry's.
We're Generation X. We grew up with the original WWF with Hulk Hogan, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and the Junkyard Dog, Ted DiBiase, all those guys. Those are the guys that we watched. The Rock and Roll Express, the Ultimate Warrior. All
those motherfuckers are cool as shit.
I mean, they're
the Rock and Roll Express are cool as shit.
I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm no wrestling fan. I used to watch it when I was a kid, but it's a nostalgia thing for me. I think the last time I watched WWE Raw was Sting was like fighting Mankind in some kind of weird cage match, and I hadn't seen it in 20 years, and I walked in, and The Rock, I'll never forget it. He ran in there for some reason, and he grabbed the mic, and he turns the camera, and whoever he was talking to, he's like, I will take your fruity ass to the zoo and make you suck on some monkey nipple. And I just fell over laughing. I was like, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. So
God
The Rock.
Damn.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, wrestling or not, that motherfucker was just pure. He's doing what he was born to do now in acting. That dude is fucking amazing. Plus, I mean, the dude fucking makes tequila that is fucking amazing and is a pretty cool dude from what I've seen on social media. Okay, y'all. Let's go ahead and go on to this because this is going to take up a while. Wow. Disney Plus yesterday announced quite a few new TV shows. So
50 plus shows that will be streaming, coming from Marvel, from Disney Animation, Pixar, Star Wars, so many different things. I mean, they just kept announcing it all day.
How are y'all fuckers gonna keep up?
I mean, since they only
watch 50 shows in 1 week.
Since it only comes on once a week, I'll just schedule it 1 day a week.
There's so many of them that are Star Wars. I'm wondering if they're going to do with the Star Wars what they did with Trek.
Possibly.
You got Discovery. You got the new the Captain that's coming out. And there's one more.
Well,
you've got Picard. You've got Discovery.
Picard.
You're going to have. There's 2 other Star Trek series coming out. One is about the Enterprise before Kirk. It's going to be with Captain Pike.
Yep.
And then there's another one that they're going to do, and I forgot what it is at this point. But there's supposed to be 4 simultaneously playing on CBS All Access. And so Star Wars is like, oh yeah, we've got 12. Really? Shit. Okay.
Let's start out with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
The legacy of that shield is complicated. The world is upside down. People need something to get behind. They need the symbol. So what's our plan? So no plan. Great.
What's going on in that cyborg brain of yours?
You don't want to know.
Oh, yeah, I can see it working. Gears turning. Oh, they're malfunctioning. They're on fire.
God, I hate you.
Oh no, Captain America, huh?
So one thing I will say with this, are each of these going to be filmed like a movie? Because if you notice, movies and TV shows are often filmed kind of differently in just a visual quality, I guess is the way I can describe it. But that looked more like a movie than it did a TV show.
That's actually a streaming television show. So yeah,
And I mean, it looks
about Mandalorian.
It looks epic as fuck. I'm gonna be honest. I'll fucking probably sit down and watch it. I don't ever use my fucking Disney Plus subscription, but I'll probably sit down.
I definitely have to say I was with Donald just now. Like no Captain America. Like both of these characters in the comics, both of them were Captain America in the comics.
Both of them.
Yeah, first it went to Bucky, and Bucky was another Captain America, which was the natural progression of what you would think the character would go. But he gave up the mantle, and the Falcon took over being. In fact, he is Captain America right now, if I'm not mistaken. Or has that changed? Did Steve come back?
Well, all I know is Steve handed Falcon the shield. He had,
right.
That was the baton. And the flying, he was the first flying Captain America. He had his Falcon wings and everything, but he had a new Captain America getup in the comic, and he was the Captain America with the shield that flew. And that was just super cool, and I didn't see it in the show, so I guess I really hate it when they make something canon and they ignore all the stuff that the fans grew to like in the first place.
Maybe it's building up to that point.
Well, hold on. Explain this to me, though, because that show looks fucking epic, and now it sounds like you guys are starting to shit on it. Just because there's not this one element.
There's something huge missing. It's like seeing a Darth Vader show, and then you find out, well, there's no CP3O or R2 or, something huge. Well, no, that's a bad example. It's like seeing an Anakin show, a new show based off of Anakin, and you learn that there won't be any traces of Vader in the show. And it'll make you kind of like, well.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's a major plot element that they're missing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if you had a show called Vader and a stormtrooper came out with a gaffy stick and he didn't have a lightsaber. And he's like, I'm Lord Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of looking at it like, okay.
Yeah, something's missing.
Yeah, I'm sure Michael doesn't know what a gaffy stick is, so,
Yeah, I think only the real geeky guys like us will notice. I'm trying to set my camera here. But yeah, I think the real geeky fellas like us that read the comic and knew that Bucky was actually Captain America for a while. He was sort of a more volatile version of Captain America.
Yeah.
But he was for a long while. And then we know that, I don't know if it's currently, but very recently, Falcon was Captain America, and he was for a few years. He was for 10 years, so I don't know. They keep bringing it back. So. They made it canon by showing it in the damn. When he gave the shield to the Falcon, he didn't give it to him because it was pretty. He gave it. He christened him the next captain.
That's how I. Yeah.
So when if you've seen the film, the Endgame, the Avengers Endgame film. You expected something, you expected that. So like you said, maybe they'll get around to that, but to see it not in the trailer kind of make you go.
Well, you saw it in the trailer. It looks like it was kind of placed behind some plexiglass. Maybe it was on display or something at the very beginning.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
If I can go back real quick, give me 1 second, and I'll just play that first part.
The legacy of that shield is complicated.
Right there. Did you see it that time?
My bad.
Right.
Well, no, I was just right.
And Winter Soldier is one of my favorite characters from Marvel Comics. I love the character because he dates back to the 1940s. He was Bucky, and he was captured and put into a secret soldier program by the USSR back in the day. He was given a cybernetic arm, and he actually did some really bad stuff, and came back to become,
But in the comic, he didn't kill Iron Man's mom and dad.
No, not in the comic. No, I mean that's something that they did in the movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did kill a lot of motherfuckers though.
Oh yeah.
Omega Red worked hand in hand. He did do a lot of bad stuff. So when he came back and I guess redeemed himself, he was given the mantle of Captain America. He did that for a couple of years. The difference between he and Steve, of course, the bionic arm, and he carried a gun where Steve Rogers never did. In the comic that we know of.
Well,
so
he carried a gun and he fired it.
I'll tell you this much, and this is my outsider stuff, not watching, but listening to him, saying the legacy of that shield is complicated. Maybe they're going to work it where he relinquished the shield or something, and maybe it is a plot point to explain why it's not featured.
And that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, there's going to be something that comes along because Iron Man, Tony Stark created the shield in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, yeah, that's probably going to have a lot to do with it there because Tony's dead now in the MCU.
Well, actually, Iron Man's father.
Yeah, Sean. Iron Man's father.
Yeah, if you seen when they were fighting, he even said that. My dad did that.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah.
So
damn it, Sean.
Oh, hey, Michael, when I went, I got you something at the store to have that. Okay.
Okay. With that being said, we'll move on. This one is Loki, right? Loki?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Go ahead.
So this is trailer number 1 here.
Get your hands off.
You're taking me somewhere to kill me.
No, I'm taking you someplace to talk.
Well, I don't like to talk.
But you do like to lie, which you just did. Because we both know you love to talk. Talky.
How long have you been here?
I don't know, it's hard to say. Time passes differently here in the TVA.
What does that mean?
You'll catch up.
Glorious. Better be ready. What did you expect?
Yes, that was
Okay.
Owen Wilson. Yes.
The first thing I got, that's Owen fucking Wilson.
Wait. Is this before or after his death? Did he survive, or is this
Don't know.
before he got taken out by?
We don't know.
He's in a desert. I know that much.
They haven't given a lot of details as far as this before Endgame. Is this before the Infinity War? Is it after? Nobody knows.
Because in that movie, he got the cube, and looked around and winked away.
Another thing,
that saved his life.
Another thing I'd like to point out about this low-key gentleman, he seems like a smartass, and I love it. I'm here for it. I love that dude.
Let me help you out here. You sort of know him a little bit. He was featured in The Mask.
Yes.
Really?
You didn't know that, huh? He's the one that made The Mask. He's the god of mischief. Jim Carrey got the mask, and he said,
"Look at Michael's face." Michael has never studied Norse mythology. That is amazing. Like Marvel Comics opens this up to so many children. There's Greek mythology, Norse mythology, there's Egyptian mythology. There's so much, man. Comic books are cool.
I didn't even know it was that deep.
Oh yeah.
So
I knew
the
Thor,
mask
but
was made by Loki, the god of mischief. That's who that is.
I'll be goddamned. I learned something tonight on Sci Fi Visions. This next one, I'm kind of interested in the title. It's called The Bad Batch.
They call themselves the Bad Batch.
The Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire!
That was quite an impressive display.
Okay. So this is another one. I'm assuming it's going to be a animated show. And this is one thing I would like to say about this merger. A lot of people I know have said, "Oh my God, I can't believe Disney's taking over Star Wars." I've seen that shit before. But this is one thing where I think Star Wars can benefit from the animators at Disney and the people that actually fucking work there. Because these fucking shows, I feel like, are going to get brought to another level as far as animations because Disney's behind it. I mean, they're fucking world-class goddamn animators, and I feel like it could only benefit the show. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
The Bad Batch is a group of clones from the Clone Wars. And they got the nickname because they were a bad batch of clones. And somebody decided to make that into a series. Now, will it be animated like the Clone Wars? That's what they're making it look like. So that would be really cool. If they do a live action version, I don't know how they can pull it off. Because the guy that plays Boba Fett would have to be in every single role. So that would be kind of weird. I mean, I'm sure they could pull it off.
Yeah. I mean, they couldn't do live action, actually, in my opinion, because Boba Fett got a little fat. I mean, you got all the fat dad jokes just off of what he did. Even though he kicked ass, it was awesome. To me, he helps all us fat dudes be able to go back into cosplay. There's so can you imagine how many fat guys are going to be Boba Fett this year now because of that,
You guys just made me think about this meme I saw on my Facebook wall yesterday. It said, if you fat shame Boba Fett, we can't be friends anymore. And that made me think about it.
Hold on. There has been a guy running around the Comic-Con scene for many, many years called Boba Fett. He wears a three-piece suit with the helmet, and he's straight up pimp. He's funny as hell. He's on Facebook. You guys should look at it's Boba, P-H-A-T, Boba Fett. It's great, dude. I mean, he's a funny guy. Yeah, but no, you can't make fun of fat Boba Fett, dude.
No, absolutely not. You can't fat shame Boba Fett.
Man,
I'm not even a Star Wars fan, and you can't fat shame him.
You guys wouldn't understand seeing Boba Fett with a dad bod, how much that meant to big people. You two skinny bitches are just like you just like obtuse to the whole thing. Us fat guys are like, yeah. Not since the pilot, that guy. What was his name? He used to pilot the X-wing and first Star Wars. Not since him have we've had a character with girth. So it was awesome.
I ain't been called a skinny bitch since I was like 18. Quarantine ain't been good to me, Doug.
You're talking about Porkins, dude. Porkins is great.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Good. You guys, you just don't know the sting of trying to fit into your cosplay Star Trek thing, and the man boobs are just giving it. You don't know the sting. All right, you just don't know.
Love it. Hey, so I got some man titties too. It's all good.
I'm just saying, this new Boba Fett was awesome.
Right,
big Boba Fett rocks better than ever. The ass he kicked.
Seriously, like you got to see Boba Fett actually kick some ass.
What is that white armor for? Because he's beating the ass without any armor on, with the sand guy's staff, and I'm like wondering, okay, what in the world is this armor for? It doesn't start stabs, doesn't stop a staff knock to the head, doesn't stop a laser blast. What the F? They might as well just be wearing red sparkly shirts. What is that? Is it armor? Is it supposed to be armor? What is this stormtroopers wearing? I mean, it's got to be made of some kind of candy material. What? It doesn't stop anything. Oh, thank you, Aaron. See, yes. Me and you, Aaron. Me and you. We're going to cosplay, and we're going to cosplay in peace now because, someone's like, fat Boba Fett. You're fat now. So me and Aaron are going to display our tummies with pride. But I still have that question about the Stormtrooper armor. Has it ever protected a Stormtrooper from an Ewok, from a stab to the face, anything? What is it armor for?
I mean, touche. Sean, any thoughts?
Stormtroopers just, I don't know. My son, little Sean, as we call him.
They can't fucking shoot either.
Actually,
I do know that joke.
Some of them can, but he likes the Stormtroopers a lot, and he believes that they are the coolest characters, which may be so. I mean, Boba Fett was always pretty cool to me until he fell into the Starlight Pit. But now we actually get to see how he's like kicking ass and everything. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. But I'm going to ask that forever. What is the Stormtrooper armor for? The only Stormtrooper armor that I've seen that's been effective is when the clones were wearing it, and they wear something much. Hey, a Facebook user says, "What's up, Mike?"
We figured out that, by the way, y'all. I guess if you click or if you want your name to pop up when you do that, you can click or you can go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and allow StreamYard to get your permission, and we'll be able to actually see your name and show it up on the thing. But yeah, that's why it's showing Facebook users. So I'm not even sure who said that, but what's up? Okay, y'all. What's up?
What's next?
Oh, we got Andor.
They got a trailer.
I did for the rebellion.
Rogue One, in many ways, it's a film that connected new audiences with the oldest fans. It was a bittersweet feeling, you know, in the premiere, knowing that it was just one film. But then magic happens, right?
As you can see, we're getting ready. We're building stages, we're rehearsing, we're training, we're trying costumes, we're doing everything to make sure we do the best show.
I'm really excited having the chance to explore Cassian. It's really fun to go on a set that is emulating something you like so much.
The enormity of this is like doing a big feature film.
It's very cinematic. For me, that's where the excitement is.
12 episodes, 12 scripts, over 200 named cast members, over 6,000 crowd people, a lot of creatures that come in from the creature department.
We treat this exactly like we would a film. There is no difference in our approach.
Every creature and droid that we've been building has the same care, level of attention to detail as the previous films.
It's huge, it's thrilling, but also it's wonderfully challenging.
There's tons of possibilities to explore. It is the building of a revolution.
Okay, Duck, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that was awesome. You answered my question. I didn't even know Andor. Do all of them have trailers now? Because I didn't know Andor had a trailer already.
I don't think a lot of them do. That looked a lot behind the scenes. But here's my question, though. At 90% of that looked like, or a good 98% of that trailer looked like it was going to be live action. Then they showed that kind of screen capture there, and it looked like it was going to be animated. Any idea whether this is going to be animated?
Well, I know the actor that they were interviewing is supposed to be in it, but I don't know if you mean by voice, or by acting.
Right, because it looked like they showed an animated screen still there at the end, so that looked that threw me off a little bit.
Well, they did, but they also mentioned that there's over 200 named actors that are going to be a part of this, the Creature Shop, so that's going to be a live action. Yeah, and I love that character too. I mean, Rogue One, like Empire Strikes Back, to me is the best of all the Star Wars things. And second to me out of all of those would have been Rogue One, because I just love the story. I love the fact that there didn't have to be romantic incantation.
The second best Star Wars movie for you is Rogue One?
Yes, I love Rogue One. Yeah, Rogue One, it was amazing to me. I absolutely loved it from beginning to end.
I feel like Duck's about to verbally bitch slap you, Sean.
Well, no, I'm going to reserve that for another time. I'm just, a little stunned. I mean, just the ending alone just effed me up for a while, but that's what
I loved it. I mean, like, I'm a fan of movies like that.
Like, you ever watch coming out of
Have you ever seen The Mist?
The Mist? I love The Mist, though. Everybody hated it.
It's a great movie, and the ending, you're just like, what? That's so
yes.
I love a tragic ending. I love it.
Mist was the bomb. But I didn't expect that in a Star Wars movie. I never seen the heroes get offed at the end of a Star Wars movie. That's what got me. I'm like, I'm waiting for it to continue. I'm like, is that the end? And you see the big wave coming out. I'm like, oh, they freaking died. Yeah, that threw me off a little bit.
Aaron says, I love Revenge of the Sith. It's my second favorite. At least I'm not alone with being.
Thank you. Did you hear that, Sean? Did Sean? Excuse me. Did you hear what? I love Aaron. Aaron is the shit. That's my first favorite. Aaron, oh my God, Aaron.
I would actually watch Solo.
You are the bomb, Aaron.
That's how much I love Solo.
Okay, y'all, we got WandaVision up next.
So what's a single gal like you doing rattling around this big house? Well, I assure you, I'm married. To a man. A human one.
Wanda.
What's it raining? And I ran. Wipe the sleep out of my...
We are an unusual couple.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
We just don't know what to expect.
Howdy, neighbors.
Hey, buddy.
Wanda, what's up? Who are you? I don't know.
I think something's wrong here.
Wanda, can you read me? Who's doing this to you?
Are you here to help us? This is our home.
Then let's fight for it.
Well, I think we handled that well.
I'm so
Okay, so
I Love Lucy thing. I'm like Ricardo.
there was a lot going on there.
Well,
yeah.
So the Vision was destroyed in one of the films, and Wanda. What most people don't know is Wanda is the daughter of Magneto, and
I knew that. Yeah.
she is an Omega level mutant. So if you know anything about comics at all, she's almost godlike in her powers. And at one point, she created an entire alternate reality,
Which was the black and white reality, correct?
Well, wasn't she the one that took everybody's powers from them?
Yeah, she did that as well too. Yeah. So I mean, there's several things that she's done where she's erased everyone's power. She's created an alternative universe. She's not all there, and this is going into that. I think that's really brilliant. I love it.
So explain the whole. It looked like they went from the 1960s all the way to modern times because somebody was fucking with her. Or,
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I think exactly what you just said. It's going to be kind of like Legion. Have you seen Legion?
Me?
On FX?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, so Legion is a television series about Professor Xavier's son who has schizophrenia, and he has over 1,000, different personalities. Each one has a different power, and again, he's an Omega level mutant. It was a really good series, and I think that's what they're doing with WandaVision. Is they're going to kind of see the same thing happen with her in the breakdown of her psyche and the creation of another alternate reality.
Okay,
I couldn't believe they killed Vision because he's gone.
Right.
He didn't get to disappear. Did that that little Sandy thing that happened. Yeah, he's definitely.
Feel like we're Wayne's World at times, but with sci-fi. Okay, y'all, we got Rogue Squadron up next.
I love to move fast and speed of any kind. I think that that's because I grew up the daughter of a great fighter pilot, and every day I would wake up and go outside and look up and see my father and his squadron taking off in their F-4s, roaring across the sky, and it was the most thrilling thing still I've experienced in my entire life. So when he lost his life in service to this country, it ignited a desire in me to turn all of that tragedy and thrill into one day making the greatest fighter pilot movie of all time. But try as I might and look as I did, I couldn't find the right story ever. I kept looking and looking, but I just couldn't find the right one until now. Now I found a movie about two things I love. So I'm going to see you very soon.
So don't get me wrong.
Right.
But what does that do to explain what the show is to me?
So it doesn't explain anything about it at all. She's a film director, which would be like exciting. And I think the way she's describing it, because her father was a squadron pilot, it's going to be something like Black Sheep Squadron meets Star Wars. Only it's going to be Rogue Squadron. So I don't know if you're familiar with Black Sheep Squadron. That was a television series that was in the mid 70s, and it was about a World War II squadron of fighters that basically, I mean, it was just about their squadron fighting the Japanese during World War II. Black Sheep Squadron.
Why?
Why?
What they call Black Sheep?
Oh, that I don't know. It starred Robert Conrad, but that's just what they did. And he was the main actor of the series at the time. I just remember it as a kid because they used to play it here on Channel 16 when it was a UHF channel.
So by no means am I a Star Wars aficionado, but what does traditional fighter pilots or anything have to do with Star Wars? I mean, I realize there's fighters in Star Wars, but what is traditional real life? What is traditional real life Star?
Rogue Squadron is the squadron. Okay, so you have Rogue One, the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was their call sign, Rogue One. That's what we're going to be. Rogue Squadron took that name, and they became the best squadron in the rebellion or the alliance. Luke Skywalker was a part of Rogue Squadron at one point. So this is going to be the history, I believe, of Rogue Squadron from its beginnings all the way through to the Skywalker era, and maybe even beyond. That's my assessment. I don't know if that's going to be the truth or not, but I think it would be really cool.
I forgot that he didn't watch a lot of Star Wars stuff. But
yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
sorry.
Because the very first movie, they're squadrons. They're flying through the. He's like,
Mike never watched Star Wars.
Direct your hate tweets to @Podcast Network 49 on Twitter. Direct your hate tweets to me, not to Pretty Boy or Duck. It's all on me, y'all. Okay, we have one more. It's called What If?
Space. Time. Reality. It's more than a linear path. It's a prism of endless possibility.
Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all.
I was promised an army.
You have a super soldier.
Cool. You sure don't seem too freaked out about all this, kid. What you doing out there all by yourself anyway?
Exploring the world.
Sounds fun. But why stop at one world when we can show you all of them?
I am the Watcher. I am your guide through these vast new realities. Follow me and dare to face the unknown. Ponder the question. What if?
Give me the tour.
Okay, so we're
a lot of people didn't know that African that became Star-Lord is T'Challa.
Right.
So we're back to the animation, and this time it's a little bit of comic book style animation. My first question, just based on the title, are we asking what if Captain America was a woman? What if yada yada yada?
Yes. Marvel Comics created
they had books
in the 70s. It was called What If, and they would do things like what if Wolverine became the Lord of Vampires? What if Spider-Man wasn't the only person that got bitten by the spider? What if the Thing was also the Hulk. You know, different scenarios like that. A multiverse type of comic scenario where they can basically ask any question, like, "What if Captain America is a woman?" You know, different things like that. And it's my favorite of all the series that they mentioned so far because you can just look at all the different aspects and possibilities. And you know, I'm hoping at some point they'll actually do a crossover with DC Comics. Like, what if you could do the algorithm universe where Wolverine and Batman are the same character? You know, Superman and Thor are combined into the same character. Doctor Strange and Doctor Fate become Doctor Strange Fate. Different things like that.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, it definitely looks interesting. It looks appealing. You have an infinite amount of what ifs out there in the world, especially I'm thinking in comic book form. So definitely looks interesting enough to me. Now, I couldn't find a trailer on this next one, but this was one you brought up as well that I'm actually interested in. Alien is going to be turned into a television show on the Hulu and
Hulu,
FX.
yeah. So they've talked to James Cameron about this, and they've actually talked to Ridley Scott too. And so it's going to go along the lines of the Aliens movie. I think it may discount most of the movies after Aliens and the Predator versus Aliens. It's just basically going to be Ridley Scott's storyline.
Right.
And, yeah, but
I mean, I never liked those Predator versus Alien, Jason versus Freddy. I never liked those. I always thought those were kind of stupid. But
well, the Aliens versus Predator was actually a comic story first in a book series because Fox owned both properties, and they thought that would be a really cool idea. And the first one wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed the first one. It's when they did the sequels that I didn't like them very much.
But my thing is this: why do you have to have these two dominant creatures or these two dominant people like Jason versus Freddy, and you have to pit them against each other? I mean, I know everybody always asks, who's more badass, Jason or Freddy? Or, Alien or Predator? But I mean,
Universal
have to do it.
Hey, Dracula versus Frankenstein, the Wolfman meets Dracula, different things like that. It was just a way to do different things.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, this is another one that I'm definitely interested in coming up here in the next, I believe, year. I don't think they have a release date yet for it, and that's why we don't have a trailer on there yet. But definitely something to keep your eye on is this because I'm definitely interested in. Looks like we got Duck back. Duck, what do you think about Alien on Hulu and FX? Are you excited about it?
It's starting to feel like a money grab to me, so I'm just gonna say it there.
Okay.
I'm throwing that out there. I'm not being a fanboy that I am. I'm not supposed to mention all that. I mean, I guess I got disillusioned. My biggest thing that prompts me to say that is what they're doing with the Orville. I'm pretty messed up about that.
What are they doing?
Well, this is going to be the last season, and there was sort of first they were just saying, well, it was only supposed to go so many seasons, but it's starting not to seem that way, So it just seems like it's just yet another show that they didn't know how to get their act together with when they went for the cash grab, when they wanted to move it to a pay-per, a network.
The Orville's on Fox, right?
Hulu.
Is it really on Hulu? I thought it was on Fox.
No, it was, and they moved it to.
Well, one thing I will say with Alien, I believe it's going to air. I believe it's going to be like everything else. I think Fox owns Hulu and FX. I could be wrong on that, but
which is Disney,
or Disney owns all that shit.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think it's going to air first run on FX, and then it's going to go to Hulu. I could be wrong on that. I think that's how it's going to work.
Some shows go to Hulu to die. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I like Hulu. Thank you very much.
Well, except for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I mean, that's a great show.
Fucking It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Right?
That is a great show.
I've never seen.
Have you seen Shameless?
What?
Shameless?
What?
Yes, Shameless rocks.
Bro, you've seen Shameless, but you ain't seen It's Always Sunny?
I haven't watched Shameless.
What?
I saw
What is
one
wrong
episode.
with both of you?
I saw one episode.
You don't even know nothing about Star Wars. You need to be quiet right now.
Well,
We all have our moments, damn
What
it.
does Star Wars have to do with fighter pilots?
Yeah, I've never watched Breaking Bad, so that's
I
something.
couldn't get through one episode.
You
I
never
couldn't get
Breaking Bad?
one episode. That's all I can. It's too slow.
I've never
in
seen
the
The
beginning
Wire.
for me. Oh, The Wire's
Okay.
good.
Okay,
The Wire's
you're
good.
killing me, Sean. I'm not even.
Well, I mean, there's some things because, like, when I was in the Army, I missed all together. You know, like, I caught The Sopranos as it first came on the air. I was in Hawaii. I was in the military. And, like, I couldn't give that up. That was just amazing to me. But I
Oh,
missed
bro, The Sopranos was the shit.
Yeah. I don't think there'll ever be a television show as great as The Sopranos.
Have you ever seen Deadwood?
Oh,
I did. I saw a few episodes, but
Dude, Deadwood was
lost
the
interest.
shit.
Well, they made
started-
a movie to explain.
Okay, it's like Game of Thrones with me. I'm not into the whole gratuitous TNA. I don't give a shit about gratuitous tits and ass everywhere.
But it's not about the tits and ass.
It's not.
You just said you watched The Sopranos, and it's.
I know.
Come on
They had
now.
a show. They had a club called Bada Bing. It was a
Yes.
strip club.
Come
But
on now.
It was a part of the show. It was.
Yes, it was. He owned
gratuitous.
the Bada Bing.
Bada Bing was part of that universe.
Tony was fucking his fucking psychiatrist. Like, come on now.
He never fucked a psychiatrist.
No, it wasn't a psychiatrist, but the show was
Dr.
still on
Malcolm was off
TNA.
on it.
Oh, shit. I thought he did fuck his
How could you
psychiatrist.
think-
Shit, I'm misremembering.
No, Dr. Murphy, no. But my
Malcolm.
point is, he was fucking everything that moves, and there was plenty of TNA in The Sopranos.
I agree.
What show was you watching?
Hold up. Have you seen Entourage?
No.
Bro, you're missing out on these HBO shows, bro.
No,
I didn't have HBO for many years, so yeah, I just didn't care.
Bro, I'm going to need you to get on these HBO shows. Entourage is fucking amazing, too.
Yeah. But for him, it's the TNA thing. When
Yeah.
a strip club called the Bada Bing.
So let me guess, you weren't into True Blood either.
I wasn't. I saw a couple episodes and I
Oh.
hated it.
Bro, I love True Blood. True Blood was the opposite when they were making these stupid ass movies about the fucking Twilight or whatever.
Yeah.
They had fucking True Blood where
Blood.
vampires
Thank
were
you.
ripping dudes' throats out, and I was like,
I know.
yes!
It was the shit. It was. How could you not? Okay, well, anywho. Yeah, I like the whole mythos of the vampires and the way vampires, finally were outed and they were into society, and it made a sort of thing about like how we would be able to live with vampires.
And of course, it had to be in Louisiana because I mean,
Yeah, and that's what
fucking
that's what made it cool because they had a lot of awesome black characters on that show.
Bro, who? What was his name? The one that died recently, or well, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
he
been
died
over a
recently.
year,
He was
but,
in the James Bond movie.
I can't believe I'm blanking on his name.
But he was
I loved
funny.
him.
You know, I always
Yes.
call a girl hooker. Listen, hooker.
Yeah.
He had he was the cook. He had,
Here's your burger
Yeah.
without the AIDS.
yeah.
Hold on, me and Duck are having our nerd moment, Black.
I know, man. True Blood was the shit. But okay, everybody's got their own.
Oh, hold on. If we're going to do a reaction show, I'm going to have to get Sean to sit down. We're talking about doing a reaction
I
show,
know.
Duck.
We got to.
We're going to have to set Sean down and have him watch True Blood.
I did save the shenanigans site for the Facebook page, and that's something that we thought about doing. We were talking about this earlier, is doing some reaction shows just on shenanigans. So it can't be the same cast or more people, but we were going to do things like sports bloopers. We were going to do things like injuries. We were going to do things like what you said, things that some of us have never seen before.
I mean, I'm willing to sit down and watch Star Wars, a whole movie on one episode. We'll fucking sit here and we can film my reaction to this shit.
No, we need to film your reaction on The Mandalorian, period. Because The Mandalorian is as good as a movie.
You can be like this the whole time. Woo! Speaking of which, Mandalorian last week, we didn't talk about what actually happened last week.
Yeah!
Boba Fett's back. He's in the armor. Yeah, we
I kind of did allude to that because I thought.
Well, I mean, we were talking about it earlier.
We got to see Slave One. We got to see Boba Fett in the armor. We got to see him kick ass, use some fucking martial arts. It was amazing. It was like everything you always wanted to see Boba Fett do, besides stand there in Jabba's palace, like
and just nod.
yeah.
So
No, he turned into he got the fighting. That's what I was alluding to at the beginning. Where he's just murdering these stormtroopers, and it's like their armor was made of some kind of plastic because he just he didn't even have his armor on. And then when he gets his armor, that's when you had that game. The fanboy orgasm.
My wife was actually in the kitchen, and she looked in there, and she was just like, "How big is your erection right now?" Watching in his armor.
Sean, did you have a half chub?
No, it was full. It was a full.
It was a full on Ranger.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen Boba Fett in action in over 30 years, so I was just like,
exactly.
And in fact, continuing to this week, I'll just say, without any spoilers, even though like everybody's doing fucking spoilers today, it's crazy. We always
did see that.
Yeah, we're gonna wait a week. We're gonna be respectful. I'll just say Boba Fett is in the episode, and some really cool stuff happens.
Please, just leave it at that.
Some really cool stuff happens. You guys got to watch it. A very important story arc happens in this episode that airs today. So definitely go to Disney Plus, watch The Mandalorian, and see what happens, because it was just like, wow.
By the way, I did notice that all these shows that we talked about earlier are going to come with a price hike. But still, Disney Plus is only going to be... No, hold on, though. Listen, hear me out. I'm not knocking it. Disney Plus is still only going to be $8 compared to the $9.99 that you're paying for Netflix and $9.99 for Hulu. Actually, I think I paid. I got the no ad version of Hulu, so I paid $12 on Hulu.
You got the ghetto version.
Yeah, I've got the version. Ads. I've got the version with Disney Plus and Hulu together, and then Netflix, and that's all I've got. I don't have cable. I cut the cord like 6 years ago, so I don't do that.
How did you watch Primal? Oh, we'll get into it later, because we're going to talk about Primal on the show.
Oh yeah, I gotta have Primal.
I have a Fire Stick, and that's all I have.
Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna implicate anybody here. Okay, here we go. We'll go right into Primal, since you brought it up. Go ahead.
Oh my God. I didn't have any idea. Sean you gotta watch it. He had it on his, his avatar. I'm like, what's the dino? Okay, I'm gonna watch this dino. Let me help my little brother out and be knowledgeable about this. Any caveman can do it kind of show. It was. You don't hear talking until the finale. I mean, it's, the show doesn't need to talk. The show is heartbreaking, funny.
There's no dialogue till the end.
Huh?
Like none. There's no dialogue till the end.
You don't hear a single word until the last episode.
And I'm telling you, you don't need it. Watch Primal. I'm begging you.
It's so amazing.
Perfect. Like, don't watch it with your kids. Don't watch it with your kids. I made a mistake.
When I
the first episode, he warned me. Captain Sean warned me. Do not watch it with your kids. I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's a new poo, but whatever. Snowflake, whatever. I paid for it in spades. I had to explain things. Put it that way. I'm not going to give it away. I had to explain things of why certain things happened, and I will never.
Well, when a caveman and a cavewoman love each other very much.
No, it's not that. It's worse.
It's worse. It's the brutality.
I would rather have talked about the birds and the bees than explain this kind of death. So
this show is called Primal for a very good reason.
Exactly.
The savage primal action of this show blows you away. Nature is pure chaos, and this show. I mean, it literally shows you that, and it's like what Dr. Malcolm talked about in Jurassic Park, as far as chaos theory and how things happen. You're just like, holy fuck! Every episode, and the guy that created Samurai Jack did this series, and it reminds you so much of that series because of his trek through his journey, what he's going through, and that's why I loved it. Like I picked up on that almost immediately, and
it's got a Mandalorian. Story, the way every episode, it still has to link together, but every episode in itself is this adventure story, that you get sucked into. And they did this with the cartoon Primal. Every episode, sets itself, from the others, and yeah. And what I like mostly, and I have to be careful with this, but he's not Conan. He's not. Just battles that he had to get saved. Literally saved by the antagonist had to get saved by the bad guy, or I have to say in this case, bad girl.
Right.
And they had to sacrifice themselves so that he's just not this badass that the way Conan or anybody sort of like in his sort of spot has always just single-handedly taken on everything. He
Right.
can't do that, and he does it.
But there are aspects of this that remind you a lot of Conan. The look,
Yeah.
the feel of the character. His name is Spear, and then the other main character's name is Fang. And man, they work so well together. I mean, they just mesh, and it's perfect the way that this works.
And they don't need to talk. You'll see why they don't need to talk. I'm
Right,
not going to tell you why they don't need to talk, because the relationship between them, because one's a guy, one's a girl, and you'll see certain things that at least in my situation, me and my wife watched it and laughed and kind of looked at each other like, yeah, I know that, So yeah, you're gonna dig it, dude. It lives up to its name, but it's not, because put it this way, because Sean doesn't like just mindless blood or guts. So if Sean liked it, you're gonna have to try it out.
Oh, thank you for that, man. And Sandy loved it, huh?
Oh yeah. See, we died at the end. It was the end. I was so suspicious of the end, and I really wanted to tell everybody, but I can't. I'll blow it for you. But
Right.
the end is so damn suspicious. I'm like, wait a minute, So the end's got this,
We'll talk about it next week. We'll give people a week to binge watch it, and we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about the end. So,
Okay, so next up we got something that isn't as primal, a little bit childish. Chris Evans is gonna continue to voice Buzz Lightyear, and we have a story here from Access.
Chris Evans is taking us to infinity and beyond. News broke this week that the Avengers star would voice the iconic Disney character Buzz Lightyear in a new movie. The film, which will hit theaters in 2022, will simply be called Lightyear, and Pixar describes it as the action hero's, quote, definitive origin story. Chris excitedly reacted to the news on Instagram, telling fans all about how he got the call. He wrote, "Working with Pixar is a dream come true. I've been a massive fan of their films since the very beginning. My team could barely contain their excitement when they told me that Pixar had a pitch for me. All they said was, Buzz Lightyear. I didn't know what that meant, since Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear, and no one could ever touch his performance. I needed to know how this character was different, and why this story was worth telling." While Chris was a little wary of stepping into Tim's shoes at first, as soon as he heard the idea for the movie, he was in. The plot, of course, is still a secret, but he did tease this. "I can say two things with absolute confidence. One, I didn't stop smiling through the entire pitch, ear to ear. Two, everyone can rest easy and get very excited." He added, "Trust me when I say that they really know what they're doing over there. This one is going to be special, and it doesn't step on a single thing. I can't even put my excitement into words. I smile every time I think about it." And Chris dropped one more teaser on Twitter, writing, "I don't even have the words. And just to be clear, this isn't Buzz Lightyear the toy. This is the origin story of the human Buzz Lightyear that the toy is based on." Now that sounds interesting. We can't wait to see what Chris and Pixar have up their sleeve.
So
that was clever. That's how I read more about it, and yeah, that's how, because not Tim, the tool man. I can't believe I can't think of his name, but the original Buzz Lightyear voice, Tim Allen. Tim Allen. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I was sort of just wincing at it, and then I got to read more up on it, and yeah, he's playing the human, so he's not going to sound like the toy, because the toy is all it's based off of,
When I
So,
first saw that, I was a little bit like, "Wait, Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear. You can't do that."
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Tim Allen fan, but I do love like Tool Time. The show that he did. What was that called?
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. I loved Home Improvement. I thought it was great. I've loved Galaxy Quest. That's one of my favorite movies of all
To
time.
infinity and beyond.
And of course, he being Buzz Lightyear, I couldn't imagine when I saw that Chris Evans was going to be Buzz Lightyear. I was kind of concerned until I saw this preview, and I was very happy with what they said.
I'm gonna need some. I'm gonna need to hear some. I'm gonna need to hear some shots because I feel like I'm gonna be the guy sitting there like,
Well,
Buzz
no,
Lightyear doesn't sound right. This is
have you seen-
bullshit.
No,
Well, he doesn't have to sound like Tim Allen. He's based off the human
He
character.
plays the real Buzz Lightyear. Tim Allen is just the toy that was based off of. As a matter of fact, it's what Tim Allen is basically what the toy would think it had, what it's supposed to be. So it's, to me, it's like, but we'll see, Aaron. If there's no sign of intelligent life anywhere, that would basically be if Captain America fails at this. I think he's going to knock it out the ball. Just like I think he's going to do a Ben Affleck. Everybody hated Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm sorry. Ben Affleck is the best Batman for me.
Ben Affleck is the best Batman that ever was. I'm going to agree with Donald right now.
Every fucking was.
There was no other. Well, okay, so Ben Affleck was the best Batman in the last 20 years. The best Batman, though, was Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I reluctantly might have to give that to them. Just because of Keaton, the actor. That's why this Birdman, just sort of almost like a spinoff, would just work. And I was dying for them to do something with this Birdman movie. It was based off of the actor that played Birdman. But I was dying for them, and they're basically saying that he might be in playing Batman again, Keaton, and that basically freaked me out because I'm thinking Batman Beyond. But still, I'm still going to say, in my opinion, Affleck still squeaks it out past Keaton. Affleck is a huge fanboy. He's huge in all the comics. Him and Kevin Smith, were just absolute fans of Batman, and so he wanted, he had input on even the suit, and they wanted it to look like, so to me, it's gonna be hard for me to even give Keaton past Affleck, and I think that Captain America could do an Affleck because he seems that he has the potential to do that. I mean, not to mention he's played 3 other superheroes in other movies. 3 or 4 other superheroes. I'm talking about, what's that boyfriend movie? Something Saves the World or something like that. He played. He just played. Huh?
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Yes.
Yeah. He played, and he just superhero after superhero. I think he's got this.
Damn,
Here's
that's
what
so
Aaron's saying. Aaron's saying, for some reason, you and I are completely in agreement. Love Ben Affleck. See, Aaron gets me. This guy gets me. I love Affleck Batman, but I grew up with Michael Keaton Batman. Yeah, so that's kind of hard, to compare them to, because I know not Burt Ward. Trying to think of the TV series, The Campy Batman.
Pow! Bam!
Yeah, his name. He just
Hold
he died.
on, let me look.
But anyway,
the name.
Yeah, the actor's name. He was in
Yeah,
Family.
that's what I'm looking for.
I gotta stop drinking while we do the shows, because you bring up these references, and usually my mind is like a trap, and I'm like,
It wasn't. Was it Adam West?
yes,
Adam West. Thank you. I can't believe you got that. Okay, I'm drunk or something, because if Mike can get some nerd trivia without bringing up wrestling, something.
Google.
So
Google. Don't give me too much credit. Google.
Oh, okay.
And plus, I should have known it. Family Guy. Duh.
Right. But no, that's a crazy thing. Before we had Google, we had this thing called the brain, and store all this like useless pop culture knowledge in our minds.
Yeah, I used to know phone numbers.
I used to be that guy. Like people would have pop culture references, and I'd just be like, "Yeah, Adam West, Batman. Yeah, Burt Ward. Yeah, all that." And people were like, "Oh, that guy's brilliant." No, I just useless information just gets absorbed in this thing. I don't.
Did you know that they had a Kato show in was it Japan or China? Anyway, they actually had an actor. You know, they were showing the Green Hornet, but they called it the Kato show, and they continued it with another actor.
Right.
And if you get to watch it, it's if you get past the goofiness, but to see Kato as the star, and what they did, it's sort of they continued it because you know they showed the American version with Bruce Lee, of course, as being Kato. And which is a cool story with him and Burt Ward because you know, Robin was lying to these kids and got overheard saying he knew, you know, kung fu.
Right.
And so poor Burt Ward. Bruce Lee was messing with him and told everybody, "I'm going to kick the shit out of him on camera." So poor Burt Ward was thinking, this is he was just going to get murdered, and Bruce, of course, just went through with it.
That's something I was going to ask you real quick. You keep saying Burt Ward, and I don't know if you saw the Arrowverse crossover this last season with Arrow and Supergirl and the Flash, and it was this entire crossover with the multiverse.
Yeah,
and
he was big.
Burt Ward came back, and he actually was Robin of his universe. They had.
I didn't know he was Robin though. They showed him I didn't know he played Robin. I just thought they showed his his face and he's older.
Yeah. But I mean, you knew that he was Robin. I mean, that's what they were kind of hitting at. Yeah, yeah. But that was a pretty cool crossover, and I thought, I hope they get a CD collection or something together with all those episodes so you can watch them all together because they had so many cameos from so many different films and television shows. I mean, you had the original Flash from the 90s television show. You had Constantine, he showed up. You had Lucifer, he showed up. You had 2 or 3 Batmans that showed up. You had, just it was crazy.
To let you know, it really pissed me off how I wouldn't watch the Arrow to save my life, and then I kept hearing all these people showing up, and I didn't. It's what I felt with Smallville. I was like, Smallville.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like WB shows because it's like 90210 with superheroes, and I hate that.
But then I hear Smallville, all these crossovers and people showing up. I would have loved to have seen, Then I see the Arrow, and what murdered me was one of my favorite heroes. I seen Mr. Terrific. He's this black hero with the T on his face. Yeah. And they really murdered his powers. I mean,
that's what I heard.
I mean, he was a womanizer in the comic. He's a gay guy, and I'm like, okay, okay. But all right, I get it, but that killed me that I didn't know anything about the Arrow show when I saw even Mr. Terrific, and I had his comics, and that brother was bad. So yeah,
I was happy about the Arrow show because John Barrowman was able to have a pretty prolific role in that series, and of course, if you know him. He was with the 10th Doctor. He plays Captain Jack Harkness, and he had his own spinoff series called Torchwood. So, yeah, it was good to see him do that. And what's really cool about the new Doctor Who, the woman, Jack Harkness is back. He's going to actually be in a few episodes in the next season. So that's another thing. When that season comes out, we're going to watch an episode because I don't think that Michael has ever seen one episode of Doctor Who.
Me too.
You've seen one. Never. You've never watched Doctor Who?
No.
Well, I guess we got a shenanigans episode.
Oh my god! Wow.
You know what?
I know about the phone booth thing.
I saw the original one, and that's why I didn't like it. It was so campy. It was in England, and it was just something.
I feel like the humor may not.
Exactly. I didn't get the humor. I don't. You know what? I'm just gonna say that I don't get a lot of English humor. Monty Python have me just yawning, You know, I watch out Holy Grail stuff.
I
love the Holy
can
Grail.
giggle a stuff. I can giggle a little bit at Monty Python, but man.
Yeah, it doesn't have me on the floor. I'll see Monty Python.
It's not National Lampoons for me.
And I'll just be like dry, just watching it. And then I'll watch Eddie Murphy, and I'm on the floor, and my wife is dry, just looking at it. So, you know, you got to get it. You know, like, you know, my wife, we were constant movie quotas, and she's like, you know, never, always walk on the bright side of, you know, something about death or something, you know.
Brian, yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, I'm like wondering what the hell is she talking about. There it is.
Yep.
Yeah, but so I watched it finally, and I was kind of like, oh.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't crack me up like if I watched something American, like these American comedies will have me on the floor. Like if I watch Blazing Saddles next to Monty Python, Blazing Saddles has got tears. You know, you can't do Blazing Saddles. You can do a Monty Python movie again. You can. But there's no freaking way you're going to be able to make a Blazing Saddles movie and have black people just nodding. Yeah, I get it. You know, the brilliance of that. You know, written by Richard Pryor and Mel Brooks. You know, I mean, Richard Pryor was supposed to be the sheriff.
Right.
But so a lot of the British humor kind of zooms over me sometimes.
Gotcha. I watch a lot of BBC, so I kind of get a lot of it. But yeah, you definitely have to watch some Doctor Who because, man, it's a badass show. I mean, you're a sci-fi guy and you don't know anything about Doctor Who. You definitely, wow, you got to check out 2009 to today's time. 11 years of Doctor Who. Now, the show's
funny is I can give you quotes to Doctor Who. There's a reason why I can give you a lot of several dozen quotes from Doctor Who.
That's me.
Because I did a show with this white guy that was obsessed with Doctor Who. He had a TARDIS on the show to start the show off. There was a TARDIS.
And a screwdriver.
I don't know what the hell a TARDIS was.
Sounds like a nerd.
Yeah, because of this nerd, I learned a lot of Doctor Who without even watching the show. Just throw that out there, you know, little trivia, Sci-Fi Visions trivia, that I learned a lot about Doctor Who without even watching an episode because of this guy. We worked it all through the show. Even when we had two other people versus somehow who, you know, got mentioned in there. You know, we had like Adama versus, you know, from Adama from Captain. I don't know Captain Adama is a admiral.
Captain Adama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that episode.
Oh man, you missed some really silly shows. I think you were probably in your diapers back then, Mike. But
yeah, Mike was. Yeah.
I can't even call it the original Sci-Fi Visions. It's the original remake of Sci-Fi Visions.
Actually, you know what? I'll say it was the original Sci-Fi Visions podcast. That's what it was.
There it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, we used to go through work for that.
We did 11. We did 11 original episodes, and yeah, we got to give Michael the bloopers reel, at least the bloopers reel, because it is hilarious.
That may be an episode of Shenanigans to react to the bloopers.
To the bloopers reel?
The
bloopers reel is too short. You know, to do a lot of reactions.
That's the thing. Michael doesn't know. Like, we do the show live now, so it's a lot easier, and you flow a lot better. But we used to have to tape segments, and literally had to act and memorize your lines. You had to know what to say, and I would have cue cards, and Kristen would laugh her ass off at me because I would fuck up a line. I'd be like, "God damn it!"
Or I had sunglasses on because I didn't want people looking at my eyes, looking this way. It's like, yes, technical holograms. Yeah, it's hysterical, and I'm still screwing up. Still screwing it up.
You know, we laugh about nothing can go wrong live, or at least I do whenever something messes up. But it's honestly, I don't know whether it's just because the adrenaline kicks in or what have you, but we don't really have that many screw-ups on an average episode. So,
well,
people noticed things on the first show that we did last week. You guys didn't notice it. I didn't want to bring it up because I was humiliated.
What did they say?
The sign fell on me.
It did?
On the first episode. I mean, we didn't kill him And I'm holding it up with the back of my head. You guys are, yeah, sure. Well, next week we're going to. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, you played it off well.
I mean, yeah, I didn't think anybody noticed. Oh my God, I got a private message. And goes, that's how I hit you in the back of the. Did it hurt? Yeah, you can see me come. My eyes pop out. You guys just kept going, didn't see nothing. But yeah, we got some bloopers already.
Oh Lord. Okay, y'all, we got another show coming up, and I'm really excited about this. I did not know this until Sean pointed it out in the Sci Fi Visions group chat. But Silence of the Lambs TV series is coming up, and we have a trailer to look at.
What do you do with all your rage? Clarice.
So I'm just going to say it. If Clarice doesn't come out speaking the deepest Southern damn accent, fucking like Jodie Foster, fuck this show. But also, like, when they
before or after? Is it before or after?
I think it has to be before.
It looks like this is happening, like during the Silence of the Lambs, because they showed the moth. They showed what looked like.
Yeah, it would have to be. It would be boring. She wasn't an agent before.
I'll tell you. True. I'll tell you this much though. The second one, Hannibal.
If come in as Hannibal, then I'm going to be disappointed because no one else can play that part except for Anthony Hopkins and Mads Mikkelsen.
So Anthony fucking Hopkins, sir. Sir Anthony Hopkins at that. But kind of like nobody should play Freddy but Robert Englund. I will die on that hill.
Robert Englund is Freddy, and he always will be. And the fact that somebody tried to Horshack tried to play him.
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, you guys, you haven't had someone pull it off yet. You're dying on that hill now. I was ready to die on the Michael Keaton hill. Swear to God. They
have said that. What's his name? God dang it! Footloose. What's his name? Kevin Bacon has been rumored to be picking up Freddy Krueger in a reboot.
Yeah, I've heard that.
If
Kevin Bacon,
I would watch it because Kevin Bacon's one of my favorite actors. Tremors.
I would watch it because it's Nightmare on Elm Street. But once again, after I got burned by the last Freddy remake, my first question is Wes Craven making it?
Well, no, but that guy that played Horshack in The Watchmen was not Freddy. I mean, he didn't have any personality. He didn't have any charisma. There was nothing about the character that made you go, "Oh man, it's Freddy." I mean, dude,
the actor is awesome. He was from the Bad News Bears. He was a pretty boy from the Bad News Bears. But the Watchmen was awesome. He made that movie awesome too. He was the bomb.
My favorite part of The Watchmen is the big giant blue penis.
Robert, that's right. Aaron's right.
I love Robert Englund, but there are plenty of great actors.
Aaron said that Robert Englund wants Kevin Bacon.
Really? Okay.
I've seen him say that.
And I love Kevin Bacon. I think Kevin Bacon can do it.
Yeah. Fair enough, Aaron. I mean, Jack Earl Haley was the guy who played him. Yeah, I thought it was terrible. And once again, maybe it's because I was a Robert Englund guy. Whenever I'm used to Robert Englund.
I just didn't think he lived up to Englund. But what I liked about Jackie Earl Haley is that first of all he's a badass. He's a dope actor, and I liked the burn victim thing, the makeup, because he looked like what Freddy should look like as a burn victim. Robert Englund's Freddy looks sort of cartoonish birds. You know, it's like.
But I grew up watching Freddy in the '80s, man. Nightmare on Elm Street, 1, 2, 3, 4, Dream Warriors, The Dream Master, all of those movies. But my favorite part was Freddy's Nightmares.
We need to give Aaron the link so that if he's got a webcam, we need to give Aaron a link so that he can join the show.
I offered him to do that earlier tonight, but he said he was busy cooking dinner and doing some other things. He may come on next week.
Aaron's an awesome guy, by the way. But
we need to invite him on the show. But do you guys remember Freddy's Nightmares that came on?
The TV show? No, I never saw the TV show.
Okay, so back in the late '80s, there was the Highlander, there was Friday the 13th, the series, Freddy's Nightmares, Tales from the Dark Side, all these great anthology shows that were just amazing. They were awesome. And Freddy's Nightmares was really cool because he actually did 2 episodes as Freddy, but the rest were just, kind of a horror anthology show. So it was really cool. But yeah, I mean, England's always going to be Freddy to me.
Yeah, and I mean, Aaron, I'm not shitting on the guy as an actor by any stretch of the imagination. Freddy's just one of those characters, kind of like, why am I not remembering his name? The guy who played Mufasa in the original Lion King.
Who was in Dream Master?
James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones, yes. James Earl Jones has to be Mufasa for me. It's one of those things that it just fucking has to happen. Robert Englund has to be Freddy for me. Anthony Hopkins has to be Hannibal.
No, Matt Nicholson is Hannibal. He actually surpassed.
I don't know about has to be. The new guy that's going to be the new replacing Johnny Depp. I forgot his name.
The guy that's replacing Depp on Pirates?
No, this is for the Harry Potter prequels.
That's Mads Mikkelsen. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
He was Hannibal.
Yeah, that guy, he gives Sir Anthony a run for his money.
I mean, I'll tell you this much. The second Hannibal movie where, and once again, her name's escaping me, and I literally thought about it earlier, but the chick that replaced Jodie Foster, she came in there and tried to play Clarice, and I was like, fuck no, bitch. Yeah. I'm going to need you to... Juliette... No, it wasn't Juliette.
Julie.
What's
Lewis? I forget what it was somewhere. Because she even tried that fake Southern accent.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
butchered it. No,
God, it was terrible.
Yeah. The original Hannibal Lecter was played by the guy that played Uncle Argyle.
Julianne Moore. That was her name.
So I need to be on the show, Aaron down.
Right. But the original guy that played Hannibal Lecter in the movie Manhunter was the guy that played Uncle Argyle in Braveheart. And it was not anything near what Anthony Hopkins did. I mean, you were just like, oh, this guy's a serial killer. Hannibal's a cannibal. They didn't get into any of the creepiness of the character at all. But once
I got a question. Aaron said Dream Masters is the first movie that he saw in theaters, thanks to and then he thanked Michael. But what's do you guys know anything about Dream Master? Or is that something?
That's Freddy.
The TV show, yeah. It was a TV series.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, there was the Dream Warriors, Dream Master, Dream Child.
See, first movie he had ever saw in theaters.
I'll be completely honest with you. To what?
So was Dream Masters in theaters? Because Aaron's
Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was Dream Masters. The show he was referring to, though, was a TV show. It was Freddy's Nightmares or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
But no, I mean the kids were good, but obviously the original was the best in my opinion. Maybe the second one. Once we got to the kids, I love the movies, but I'm just like, man, Freddy should be fucking these kids up.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Well, one thing is. The newer Freddy, I liked better his history because it was more realistic. He was a child molester. He was a cruel child molester, though. Just because it's a heinous act doesn't mean you don't embrace that this character is actually a child. I thought that he was much more of a child molester than England. England seemed way too comical. I didn't buy him.
He was very comical, but I didn't buy him. We're talking about a situation though where I can't say I always prefer the original because so I'm torn on this because I am still, a little bit of a fan of the original. But when we talk about it and Pennywise, there's aspects of the new one that I prefer to Tim Curry. I think Tim Curry was more comical and more entertaining. I think the new Pennywise is more sinister and more true to Stephen King's vision.
Mike, you nailed it. I feel that's a perfect example of the Freddy's. I can't call him anything but Bad News Bears actor, but that guy was a scarier Freddy because child molestation is heinous, and you believed him more to be a horrible, gruesome child molester than England could ever be. England had funny parts that, he was like champy is the word.
Freddy, before in Robert Englund's universe, was just a child murderer. He was never a child molester. He
wasn't a molester.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think turned a lot of people off about the new Nightmare on Elm Street, the reboot, was he came out as being a child molester. A lot of people are like, that's not my Freddy. Freddy wouldn't diddle no kids. No.
I'll be honest with you though too, and I literally have been thinking about this since we talked. I'm not hating on the actor that played Freddy, but he didn't have much of a supporting cast because his supporting cast sucked ass as actors.
He carried the entire movie. And Aaron just said his biggest issue with the remake was they teased us with him being innocent, and he'd wished
they went through with the story.
Story. Well, I have to disagree because I liked them teasing me that he was supposed to be innocent, and then there was I liked surprises. That he was foul, and to me he was fouler than England. To me, because I guess I'm sick because I think what's worse than killing kids, right. The molestation to where they have to deal with it for the rest of their lives, and I just thought that he was more realistic. That's a bigger theme in our society than some guy hacking at kids. Everybody, Jason hacked kids,
right.
But the newer one, made sense. Like, he's kind of real. That's a huge heinous act in our society, and the fact that they made it seem like he was innocent, and then you find out, oh no, this guy's he's a sack of shit. He deserved to get burned. But to me, Mike nailed it again when he said, that he didn't have a lot of supporting actors to help him. To me, England's first movie as Freddy with Johnny Depp.
I mean, let's be honest. They set the tone.
Yeah,
I mean, nobody knew Johnny Depp was going to be Johnny fucking Depp, but
but still, they really made it. The protagonist there, the heroine in the first one, she really helped set it off too.
I mean, to be fair though, I will say this: Heather was great, but minus Heather and Robert, was anybody great in the originals? Now that you think about it, or are those movies memorable because of Freddy and
memorable because Robert Englund, his one line, his charisma, his character,
he's the originator. He basically made the character. They had this character in mind, just like they had Spock in mind. But when Nimoy took over, he's the one that came up with the salute. He's the one that came up with the emotionless, because then the very first episode of Star Trek, Spock's smiling and these flowers. Well, same thing with England. He's the one that sort of built this Freddy to where he had the charisma and the acting power to make it his own, and he did a great job. But it's just that back then we weren't ready for a child molester that the parents.
I mean, and nobody even today is cool with that shit. But I mean,
but to me,
nowadays it's more like you can't throw that shit out there without it being
scares you. When you have something that reflects real life, it's scarier, dude. It's scarier. Then somebody, this guy that's basically a serial killer of children. Well, you don't hear about that much, if ever. So it gave it a sort of like you were able to distance yourself.
I did see a preview when I saw the New Mutants, by the way, talking about remakes of Candyman.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, whoa,
whoa, amazing.
Let's be fair here. Candyman's another one. I don't want it remade.
Tony Todd was
somebody
awesome.
else to play with Candyman.
Tony Todd,
love Candyman.
Worf's brother. I'm so Star Trek. I'm like 6 degrees of Star Trek. But anyway, yeah. I forgot.
Maybe I'm getting into that old bastard territory where I'm like, stay off my lawn, kids. But
yeah,
like,
I think
don't fuck with Candyman either.
The new Candyman it really looks awesome. I think
look good.
Murder is the first one. Sorry, Tony Todd. His deep voice and his acting is like off the chain and helped Candyman, but Candyman was never Krueger. Candyman, this new one could be up there with Krueger.
It could be, yeah. So
we'll have to show the previews, the trailer.
Real quick before we go on, all the Star Wars shows that are coming out on Disney Plus: Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic, Andor, Lando, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Droid Story, Visions, and Rogue Squadron. There's another one. What is this last one? Let me see if I can read this. Acolyte. So when we break them all down, the most interesting of all of those, I think, is the Obi-Wan Kenobi, because they just said that Hayden Christensen will come back and play Darth Vader.
Yeah. Well, it's just more than that. I mean, there's talks of this guy, this actor. We're just talking about his new show, the Winter Soldier. They dressed him up as Luke
Skywalker. Yeah,
he's a dead ringer. But this is fan talk. This isn't going to happen yet. But I hope they've seen what these fans are doing with these pictures of the Universal Soldier dressed up as Luke in all black when he, with the Empire Strikes Back era, he looks dead on Luke. What an opportunity. I really hope they do it.
And he already works for Disney, so it's not going to be like a conflict of interest.
Exactly. So that's an opportunity right there, and I hope they don't pass on that.
Did we lose Doug?
I don't know. He's froze. No, there he is.
There we go. Say what you were about to say, because you froze like as soon as you said it.
Well, yeah, but not Obi-Wan. They're hoping that they'll bring the Winter Soldier actor as Luke in The Mandalorian.
Right.
Because the time set, so it would be
amazing.
It would be perfect. You couldn't bring him back. You couldn't bring the Winter Soldier as Luke and Obi-Wan. It wouldn't make sense. I mean, maybe as a flashback. Yeah. But this is when Obi exiled himself to protect Luke, so it would have to be a flash forward,
Right.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be harder, but the Mandalorian, it's absolutely perfect to have Baby Yoda. Luke answered the call to Baby Yoda, like people would fucking die. So yeah, I would love to see that.
Well, gentlemen, it looks like we've pretty much ran out of the topics we had here for tonight. So, things how Sean decided to delete my Sci Fi Visions intro.
That wasn't me.
I don't know where it went for real, though. We need to get it back.
Wait. You had an intro?
Yeah, we had the intro. We played it last week. I guess it was the original, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you built one for last week, and we put it on, and we played it.
Oh.
Come on, Tuck.
I wasn't there, I guess.
So before next week, we're going to need a whole new intro.
Not a whole new intro. Well, don't make this man work that hard.
No.
Just the old one works, Tuck.
We need an intro because we've already shown people the history of the show. We just need one for this podcast. We don't have to show the old podcast. We don't have to show the original Sci Fi Visions. Just this Sci Fi Visions. That's all we need.
It's just that the one I made for you already shows the very first Sci-Fi Visions with your dad, of course. Then our podcast, the first podcast, and then this one. It's like a transitioning the one that, You want to give that up? I didn't even get to see it on the show.
All right, we'll do that one again.
Okay.
What we need to do is talk it over and find out one that we can have, a shorter one maybe or something, that a standalone,
I do, though, since we are going to reboot the Shenanigans podcast, I do need to get that. Oh, no, wait, I do have the Shenanigans intro. Never mind. I don't need that one again. Okay, y'all. Well, I guess we're just going to get out of here without any music. So, Sean, you want to tell us?
We got 4 minutes to go?
Well, technically, we have 9 if you want to go 2 hours.
Well, then why not? I'm ready to.
Anybody got a topic for 9 minutes?
Star Trek Audacious.
Yeah, of course.
Sure. Yeah, Star Trek Audacious.
Yeah, exactly. What I could do right now is because we've had some folks express their excitement. And,
I hope I spelled that correctly because I feel like I didn't.
Oh, well, what I would like to do, and I haven't got there yet, I'll let you know when I'm there, is give the viewers a little taste of what we did for the upcoming comic. Because, like we said, the comic is going to be released May 10th, and that'll be in, actual
just in time for my birthday.
Yeah. So,
God,
another May baby. All right. So, what I would like to do is show them the actual artwork that was put into it.
Okay, share your screen. Let's do this.
Guys ready?
I'm excited.
Sneak
peek.
Yeah. So, whenever you're ready, I'll put on my share screen right now.
Go for it. Let me see if it should automatically pop up, but if I have to, I'll wait for it to pop up so I can add it.
Okay, so let me put allow, select window, entire screen, allow. Alrighty.
There we go.
There we go. And
you have to go all the way to the right.
All the way to the right. Oh, I see. Alrighty. I'm new at this. So let me just open this up. Can you guys see?
All right. Yes, sir.
So all of the entire comic was made in Affinity. It's a graphic design program called Affinity. And I wanted them to see the original cover. And this is Captain Christopher Cross. And this is sort of the cliffhanger of the first draft of the comic when something bad happens to the Addy and he's yelling, and how this is done is not just a freehand thing. This is done dot by dot, like you can remove his beard and all that stuff. But I wanted to give them. I'm not going to go into descriptions like I did last time. I'm going to go back to the first and let them see the stuff that was made and explain the credits page. Because we never got to mention Carrie Ives, an excellent writer, and she basically helped give me the push we needed to start the storyline, and we went off for her story. Of course, it butchered it to death as we went along in making the comic. But this, I wanted to point out to everybody, this is the patch that we're going to be giving away for free to our watchers of the show. And this is... that
is badass, I'm just saying.
Yeah. And that's a picture of the Audacious, in cartoon form. And it's... I went over this last show, so I'm not going to go over it into complete detail. But someone asked me, about Law, and they got confused how she was part of the Audacious crew. And this is her waking up. And I you know what? I shouldn't even show this part. Let me show you the explanation and give you a brief rundown of that she's basically Law the Second, and we worked it into the Picard storyline. So this comic book is basically barely before Picard, the Picard show starts. So in our storyline, Picard is still an admiral, and this is before when Law the Second was made. Her father, Data, was still alive. So I'm not going to go into any more of that. I'll take it off my screen here. But the comic book is going to go into a new type of captain. That let me take it off of my share screen so you won't see that.
Here we go. There you go.
So the comic book has got a new type of captain, and he's got his own problems, of course. To be honest here, he's got a drinking problem because he's got all this pressure on him. But this is more. We tried to do what Discovery did. It's more eclectic. You don't just deal with a bunch of humans on this, on this starship, So, and everything was researched and created for the comic. The very ship where you could actually go to the website StarTrekAudacious.com and see the ship, the history, deck by deck. I'm talking, everything was actually created for the comic where you would know where a sick bay is or where the bridge was, and even the Romulan ship that's attacking us, where we're going to have the Manic Hispanic be a Romulan, commander. It's going to be awesome.
Sean, are you watching this again?
What?
Are you watching this again? I hear myself.
Sorry.
Whoops.
Douche.
But anyway, so that's my plug.
That's you.
What?
Well, that's my plug for the ladder of the show. I want you guys to really view the show because we're going to have giveaways from the Star Trek Audacious patch to the comic. The comic is going to be free digitally, and it's going to be free in hard copy. So we're going to be giving it away, but we only have literally. Well, first we bought 100 issues, and you got to give it to family and all that stuff. So we should barely have maybe 50 copies, hard copies, to give away on the show. So we're going to need you guys, Aaron, anybody else that's watching, to keep watching the show and get their free copy of the fan-made Star Trek Audacious, because it's made by fans, and we take in all the ideas of everyone. As a matter of fact, it's going to be an ongoing thing. We've only got the first one of 3 made, and 2 and 3 are basically together, but we need the ideas of what they think should be added or taken out of. So this would be your opportunity to know our story and then give your honest opinions about what you think should be added. And Aaron, I think Q would be an awesome addition. We just have to figure out how we would work Q into the storyline. So that's a good one, Aaron. You can't go wrong with Q. But everyone keep viewing the Sci Fi Visions show, because we're going to be bringing up this Star Trek Audacious thing because it's may all come here before you know it. And
I am excited to see this.
Yeah, we really want to hand this out. We again let everybody know it's a free deal. No money is made off of Roddenberry's ideas. Just a bunch of fans making this real cool comic.
People that love Star Trek.
I can't wait. Honestly.
Creating something about Star Trek. It's really cool.
I can't wait to see Sean as a drunk. Oh wait, we do that every time we have a show.
Faces on stun. Okay.
Was there any real life inspiration for this Sean Castleberry character?
Oh my god.
Sean, how does that make you feel?
We did do a poll earlier today, and we did find out that Michael likes to eat tranny ass. So
we also found out that Sean likes the peen. What else did we find out in that poll?
We're ending the show now. Everybody, bye-bye. thanks for tuning in. Please see you next Friday for sure, guys.
See y'all next week.
Where reality is only a state of mind.